All right, so another thrilling episode of Sports Cruise on the ALmedia channel with me, Jose, where today we'll be looking at the ongoing 13th African Games dubbed Accra 2023. How is Team Ghana faring over there? But then more news we are hearing from there is that South African hockey team, both male and female, have opted to pull out of the tournament due to inadequate preparations by the host nation. Not just that, but then also Netherlands player Quincy Promes, he has been arrested all the way in the Middle East, in Dubai to be precise, after he stabbed his brother and also as he helped in smuggling over 1,300 kilograms of cocaine from the Netherlands a couple of years ago. But then we'll be focusing on the 13th African Games as we see the teams or the countries who are actually flying high and the countries that are trying to play catch up in this particular one. It's the ALmedia channel and it's the Sports Cruise. But then you can subscribe to the channel, share, like, and comment as we continue to grow the Sports Cruise family. All right, so let's start off with the Accra 2023 All-African Games, the 13th African Games, where Team Ghana, after a slow start, they are beginning to catch up and also climb up on the medal table. And thanks to the arm wrestling team led by their chairman, that's Charles Osei Esibe, he actually stated categorically that his team would win more than 1/3 of Ghana's medal haul at the ongoing games. So after some good show from them during the games or the arm wrestling tournament, Ghana has moved up the table and currently occupies 6th position as far as the medal table is concerned. But then for Team Egypt, they still are flying high with over 90 gold medals accrued so far in the ongoing tournament. Moving on from there, Benjamin Azamati and Barnabas again made Ghana proud in the athletics category, 100 meters, after they both qualified for the grand finale. But then for Benjamin Azamati, he's already been talking about the fact that he's really struggling to adapt and acclimatize to the Ghanaian weather as the heat keeps on making it very, very difficult for him to set some good times at the ongoing Accra 2023.
Are you playing?
So as you can see in the picture, that's Benjamin Azamati at a walking pace, just going past the Nigerian athlete with so much ease. And you can see that the Nigerian athlete overate a night before the race. And it's quite evident that he had heavy legs during that race. Just look at how Azamati did it so easily. But the guy, you could see, I think he was saying Ajish. But then to hockey, the news we are hearing is that the South African hockey team, both male and female, they have opted to quit the games after their games in the tournament was postponed 3 times by the Hockey Federation due to inadequate preparations.
Sorry for the laugh.
The South African team was bound to play their games at the Theodosia Okun Stadium or hockey pitch in Accra. But then reports we heard was that the hockey pitch wasn't in good condition going into the tournament. So the South African team felt it important or necessary that they had to just pack and fly all the way back to South Africa.
What is that?
Because they just said that preparations was just not at its best at the African Games. But then if you're a South African, would you just agree with these comments made by the president of the African Hockey Federation, who says that the South Africans were only making up excuses, but then they were not willing to play? Or you still believe the Ama Staki, that's their name, the South African hockey team, are just too good enough? And if, things had been done orderly and on time, they would have, gotten gold in the hockey tournament.
I can't speak like that now. Why?
Let's just have your say in the comment section. Lastly, on the African Games, it's the Black Princesses of Ghana who have qualified for the grand finale. And guess which team they'll be coming up against in the grand finale as they both battle for gold? It's the Nigerian under-20 female team. This is for gold in the ongoing Accra 2023 African Games. Ghana, they set up a showdown against Nigeria once more in the Jollof Derby. Who is going to win this one? Banku coming up against Eba. Is it the Black Princesses of Ghana, or it's going to be the Nigerian under-20 female team? In a Turkish Super League game over the weekend, it was Trabzonspor that hosted league leaders Fenerbahce in a crunch fixture. After full time, where Fenerbahce edged Trabzonspor in a 5-goal thriller, they won by 3-2. The irritated fans of Trabzonspor just, burst onto the pitch and started attacking the Fenerbahce players. And it was just an awful and, a detestable scene to watch over there, where the Trabzonspor fans just, came onto the pitch. The whole fan base just came there and then started beating most of the Fenerbahce players. So in the midst of the fight, you could see that Fenerbahce player, that's Nigerian, Bright Osayi Samuel, was the only Fenerbahce player who was actually also fighting the Trabzonspor fans. And after that, the Fenerbahce fans put up a mural of the player who was fighting fans of Trabzonspor. And he has been deemed hero back home in Fenerbahce for showing that, fearless act in that particular one.
God have mercy upon us.
Netherlands attacker Quincy Promes has been arrested in Dubai. But this story is quite fascinating because Quincy Promes has been sentenced to 6 years imprisonment all the way back in his homeland for stabbing his cousin and also helping in smuggling over 1,300 kilograms of cocaine. So aside doing football, this guy actually also, does other businesses, more like side businesses. He is an entrepreneur.
Sorry for the laugh.
And what he engages in is smuggling cocaine.
What is that?
So after being found guilty a couple of years ago, he was sentenced to 6 years imprisonment. But then he's yet to serve his jail time because he still plies his trade all the way in Russia for Spartak Moscow. And due to some extradition rules in or between European countries, he wasn't serving his jail time because he was still in Russia. But then during the off-season, he came all the way down to the Middle East, in Dubai to be precise, where he was apprehended. The question we are asking is that, isn't that football money isn't just enough for these players, or they just feel they need more money because more money or too much money isn't enough money? On the Quincy Promes issue, one of his tightest friends, he's played with him a couple of times in the Netherlands national team, that is Memphis Depay. He has come out to support his pal who just got arrested, and that was when he posted a picture of himself and then also Quincy Promes, a picture he took a couple of years ago, saying that he supports his friend, but then he doesn't condone the act he engaged himself in. Not just Quincy Promes, but then Memphis Depay is also close friends with Manchester United former player Paul Pogba, and then also convict that Dani Alves, who also got jailed for 4.5 years for also raping a lady. So imagine Memphis Depay being friends with all these players who have in recent times ended up in big trouble. But then he says that he doesn't support the act in which they find themselves. But then, does that mean that maybe Memphis Depay, sooner or later, he could also end up, being caught for an act which we all do not know about? Because we all know how that old adage goes. Show me your friends and I'll show you your character. We'll continue to pray and wish you all the best, but then we hope that you don't land yourself in any trouble. All right, this is where we draw the curtains on today's interested episode of Sports Cruise on the ALmedia channel with me, Josiah. But then don't forget that you can also have your comment, your say in the comment section about all the interesting topics we've discussed today, from the All African Games to Quincy Promes being apprehended in the Middle East, who will be serving jail time 6 years for smuggling cocaine, all the way to the South African hockey team that opted out of the ongoing games for poor preparations by the host nations. All this and many more on the ALmedia channel on YouTube. But then for many more news also with regards to sports, business, entertainment, and then foreign politics, you can also log on to our website, www.almediahub.com, for more news. It's been great on this particular edition of the Sports Cruise. See you again later. Bye.